Today, I'm so excited to be joined by Mike Pizzimenti. He is the director and owner at HealthQuest Physical Therapy in West Bloomfield. They are an independent physical therapy facility owned and operated by licensed physical therapists. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Mike.
Thanks, Maddie. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well.
So let's first start. How did you get into physical therapy, and maybe give us a little bit about the background at HealthQuest Physical Therapy?
I've always been into physical fitness and sports. Had to deal with injuries of my own initially early on, and went through physical therapy myself a couple times. Kind of got hooked on that whole thing. I became a personal trainer, and I just wanted to, take the next step, learn about more pathology, injury prevention, injury rehab. So got me into school. I got in with HealthQuest about 14 years ago as a technician and kind of learned the ropes. And grew from a personal trainer to a staff PT, and then I opened up my own practice, and it'll be 6 years now in February.
And Mike, what type of patients does HealthQuest serve, and what are the type of treatments that your team offers there?
So we see pretty much anybody with any musculoskeletal issue. It could be anybody from your early adolescence. I mean, I've seen people as kids young as 5-6 years old, and then I've seen people as old as over 100 years old. It could be anywhere from the balance patient, somebody get on and off the toilet, has difficulty going up and down stairs, to the Division I semi-professional, professional athlete that's looking to return back to their sport. So it's all over the map. Your low back pains and your neck pains are right up there and at the top. Shoulder, knee pain are right there. Hip, ankle, elbow, you name it, musculoskeletal wise, we pretty much treat it.
And Mike, your team also offers a variety of specialized treatments for your patients. These can include cupping, dry needling, concussion treatment. How do these types of treatments help your patients that you see with a variety of different physical needs there?
So having a large bag, if you will, of treatments really does help. Each patient responds differently to treatment. So when one thing kind of is not working, we like to be able to switch things up. Everybody likes a customized exercise program. Well, they need a customized manual treatment program as well sometimes. All the things that you just mentioned, like cupping and dry needling, grassing, which is like a metal tool assisted modality that we use as well. Everything's to improve blood flow, and we want blood flow to whatever area is injured. It helps with the healing process, so we facilitate that, and then we reinforce through usually a stability program to create a little bit more postural control, which is most of the reasons why we see somebody fall into a painful cycle, is because they're moving poorly or they're just standing or sitting poorly.
And Mike, with the ongoing pandemic, does HealthQuest Physical Therapy see a certain type of injury or problem with patients, or how have you seen the pandemic impact those patients you treat at HealthQuest?
Well, with the pandemic, it's keeping people inside a lot more now. So we're seeing a lot more sedentary lifestyle type pathologies. So your neck and your back pains are going up. People have stopped going to the gym, or they're doing some stuff at home, and it's just not the same. And so we do see a lot more of the lifestyle change type injuries. So deconditioning, people getting weaker, and they're not complementing their sedentary lifestyle with a more physical fitness like they used to prior to that. A lot of people are working from home, so they're working at their laptops or their couches or their kitchen tables, and their ergonomic setup at their house is not quite what it was at the office, and that also over time can affect a lot of different things.
And then Mike, for you personally, you have a great connection and relationship with the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. You're going to be installed as an officer this upcoming month. Can you tell us a little bit about your work within the Chamber of Commerce? We talked to Suzanne Levine earlier about how you are working with the Chamber to making sure that certain businesses are working with HealthQuest. So if you would just give us a little background into what you do with the Chamber, and maybe a little bit of excitement as you're going to be installed into the board there.
I mean, ever since day one, it's always been about making connections with everybody and anybody around you. And as a private practice, we don't have a feeder system, if you will, like a hospital system or so, or a physician feeding us specifically to our clinic. So we have to make relationships with multiple physicians in the community as well. Meeting Suzanne early on when I first came out here was a huge thing, because I was able to meet different like-minded people in different businesses. Working with the high schools, St. Mary's High School, Bloomfield Hills, and especially West Bloomfield, which is just a stone's throw away from my clinic. Creating connections has been the biggest thing. to be able to, spread the good word essentially. So we have a product and a service to get people in the door. People have to kind of gravitate and meet, you have to meet them, you have to talk to them, they have to kind of like you. They come on in, and then they see that the product and the service at the back end is actually excellent. So then, word spreads and whatever, and over time you start to create, the vision starts to become real over time, and then the community really does start to support you, and it kind of just spreads in a way like a good virus. No, no pun intended.
And Mike, as we wrap up the interview, is there anything else you want to say to our audience? Maybe some goals as you head into 2022 with HealthQuest?
Yeah, so we're always trying to stay one step ahead of the COVID curve. So, my goal for here is to keep my staff empowered, keep people as healthy as possible. We're following every CDC guideline out there. We're sometimes exceeding it as well. So it's really just to move into 2022 and just try to get through this as a team and be a leader for my whole squad, and have everybody come in the door and continue to get great care.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Mike.
Thank you so much for having me.